Raz, a follow-up question for you is, if you can reflect a bit on the appellate tribunal, role of appellate tribunal, and what are the learnings India had, maybe have for other countries, in terms of independence, and how it can be helpful in terms of ensuring more effective and just energy transition. And if you can just maybe connect a bit about the broader judicial system, right? Not just this independent electricity regulatory commissions, but the broader judicial system, the role of courts and judges and lawyers, do they have a role to play in this energy transition?
Excellent.
So, brief,
Excellent
if you can
question.
talk about.
So, we have independent regulatory commission. So, what is the benefit of that independence? If there is a change of government, the energy transition does not change. One of the best things. So, what happens? The powers of the government are transferred through the act of parliament to a regulatory body, and that regulatory body enforces renewable purchase obligation. So what happens? Whatever government comes into the power, this political uncertainty does not affect energy transition. It may have positive impacts, but it will not derail the energy transition. So in India, we have independent regulatory commission. So because India is a federal country, we have state level government and central level government. So what we did under Electricity Act, we created two levels of regulatory commission. I cannot say two levels equal. Powers of Central Electricity Regulatory Commission, we have one, and we have 26 State Electricity Regulatory Commission and Joint Electricity Regulatory Commission. So 3 Joint Electricity Regulatory Commission, all 3 together are independent regulatory commission for India. Their powers are equal, but functions are different. Mainly, enforcement of renewable purchase obligation is done by State Electricity Regulatory Commission. So if you are not satisfied with whatever energy transition, whatever renewable energy certificate or activities are doing, you can file an appeal to Appellate Tribunal of Electricity and then appeal directly to the Supreme Court of India. So this is the hierarchy, and Supreme Court of India was maybe in the world, it was the first courts which gave the principles of sustainable development. So 1985, Supreme Court gave the test of sustainable development. So any activity government or private entity has to do, it has to follow the test of sustainable development. In 1996, it gave the principle of polluter pays principle. So if you are polluting, you have to pay for whatever pollution you have done. In 1999, Supreme Court gave the principle of precautionary principle. So precautionary principle is very simple. If you have two ways of doing something, do the method which is more sustainable and good for the society. It may have more cost, no worries. The Supreme Court is very clear on that. Then it gave the principle of payment of compensation for ecological loss. So polluter pays principle on one side and payment of compensation for ecological on both sides. So from the highest court of India, this concept flows actually. And if we talk specifically of renewable purchase obligation or energy transition, 4 institutions are very important. One institution is Electricity Regulatory Commission, which we have discussed. Second institution, and very interesting institution, is Electricity Ombudsman. So I think so India was, if you all may, because Nina is also working for consumer matters, you can also correct me, but I think India was the first country to implement the concept of Electricity Ombudsman in the world under Electricity Act. So any consumer who has any prosumer means if you have a solar panel in your rooftop, you are producing renewable energy, and if you have any issue with the government, go to Electricity Ombudsman, they will resolve it. And what my research shows, that after India implemented the concept of Electricity Ombudsman, then 2006 Queensland, Australia implemented the concept of Energy Ombudsman. In 2006 France also implemented the concept of National Energy Ombudsman. Then in 2007 UK also implemented the concept of Energy Ombudsman. So I want to be happy to say that maybe we were the first one, but Nina maybe correct me if there are some other countries which have implemented. And the best part, I would like to tell Mandeep, the best part is that the electricity consumer has a choice. You can go to Electricity Ombudsman, but if you want to go to normal consumer courts, go to there. It is okay. Concurrent jurisdiction. The consumers have all the choices to move forward. Finally, 2010, there was new act which created a National Green Tribunal, NGT, which is also doing substantial work for sustainable development and energy transition. So these are the four institutions which are very important. Besides the Supreme Court judgment, Supreme Court judgment is like law. So all the regulatory institutions have to implement. They are free to implement it as and when they want. And best thing is, because independent regulatory commission, so the energy transition process does not stop. It may become little slow or fast, but it will not stop in India. So hope this is useful for all the panelists. Back to you, Piyush.
Thank you, Raj. Thanks for really bringing this kind of ombudsman perspective. I think this is really critical, especially now we are talking about this. How do you talk about this speed and scale? In terms of energy transition, because there is a limited time, right?
And continuity.
Exactly.
Scale, but it should not be like the government changes and maybe everything drops off. Yeah, right. Go ahead.